Hey, this is Dave Sherwin with HCG Easy Drops. Thank you so much for purchasing. This video is going to be really important to the success of your purchase and of your weight loss. I have with me Dr. Cappoe. Welcome. Thanks for doing this video with me.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here today.
And we've got some really important points to cover. So the first thing I want to tell you is we've been doing this a long time. We've got tens of thousands of customers. We've tested multiple formulations over the years. We've heard the success stories and the trials and the ups and downs of thousands of people, and this video is the distilled information of all of that experience. So I want to challenge you to listen to this entire video because it really can set the tone for your success. We're also going to teach you some of the things that are common causes of failure, and we don't want you to fail, we want you to succeed. And we're going to cover in this video the expectations that you should have for this diet, some unadvertised benefits that are not on our website but that we've learned about over the years, and we want to talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about hormonal imbalance issues. These are real, something that you do need to know about. Mind and body reset is another really cool thing. We're going to talk about that. Resources and support that are available to you, which is also important. And then common mistakes that people make. We're going to cover those things as briefly as we can, and yet we want to cover them thoroughly. So if you need to pause the video and grab a paper and a pen, that'd probably be a good idea. Again, this is the distilled information of 4 years of doing this and thousands of in-house case studies. So we got some great stuff for you. Now, first of all, expectations in terms of weight loss. Many people lose 2 pounds a day on this diet. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Weight Watchers talks about 2 pounds a week. We're talking 2 pounds a day. Now, men tend to lose more than women. We've had men, more than one, lose up to 3 pounds a day, which is just crazy. So if you're doing this as a couple, wives, spouses, significant others, don't be disappointed if the male loses more and faster than the female. Dr. Cappoe, I don't know why that is. You probably do, but it is the way it is.
Yeah, men actually, they have more muscle mass generally. So the more muscle mass you have, the more you're going to break down your fat. Just simple. It's just physics, right?
Yeah.
And then also, men usually have higher testosterone levels in their blood. Mm-hmm. So when you have higher testosterone levels, you're going to burn your fat a lot quicker also.
And you've also found that some women have low testosterone.
That's correct.
And we tend to think of low testosterone being a male thing. It may be one of the things you want to look at, ladies. If you struggle to lose weight, it could be that you have some hormonal imbalance and perhaps too low of testosterone, something you could have tested with your doctor. As a matter of fact, one yearly test for me to have a whole blood panel is free with my insurance. You may want to check into that for yourself. We'll get into more hormonal issues though in a minute. So expectations are men typically do lose faster and more than women. Worst case, you should expect to lose at least half a pound a day. That's still phenomenal. If you did this for 30 days and lost 15 pounds, well, that's probably a lot better than you did in the last 30 days.
Yeah.
And so just have an expectation. We hope that you hit the home run and lose a lot of weight very quickly, but what we've found is that those are typical expectations. Now, there's another very important expectation, and that is that in your first round, we find that people lose more weight. You know, we've had people come to us who used a different drop secondarily, and they came back to us and said, man, I used your drops and I lost 25 pounds. And then I found one at the supermarket or whatever, and I used it the second time, and I only lost 10. And in fairness, well, first of all, they shouldn't be buying HC at the supermarket. But, no. But realistically, oftentimes it's not the drops. If you're doing this for the second or the third time, you need to lower your expectations. I'm just being real with you right now. Your first round is typically the best. Your second, even with the same drops, will often be not as great. Fair enough?
Fair enough. And it's just the way the body loses weight. Just as you start losing more and more weight and you have less weight to lose, your body doesn't lose it as quickly.
It gets a little bit harder as you go. But continue on anyway, because again, what if you only lost 12 pounds in round 2? Still phenomenal.
Yeah, that's still awesome. Yeah.
And less expensive than any other diet. These drops are so inexpensive, and you don't have to buy a bunch of shakes, you don't have to pay for coaching. There's so many things you don't have to pay for that lower your expectations on those second, third, fourth rounds, but continue until you hit your goal.
Right.
Number 2, unadvertised benefits.
Yeah.
We have heard so many of these. You've had particular case studies in your own office. Could you tell us one?
Yeah, just recently I had a patient. She's been dealing with seizures for years, and she'll have like 10, 15 a day, and they're the smaller ones. but they're debilitating still, right? Well, she had some extra weight she wanted to lose, so I suggested, well, let's start you on the HCG diet, because I think it would do well for you, right? She started, and she noticed that within a couple weeks, her seizures went away. And then went away almost completely. She stopped around, and so she stopped the drops, seizures came back. So she started again, because she had some more weight she wanted to lose, seizures went away. So there's something going on for her. We haven't figured it out quite yet, but the drops are actually balancing out her body in a way that now not only is she losing weight, but her seizures are stopped.
So she's taking them all the time. We have multiple customers, and I can tell you so many stories. The reason this is unadvertised, we don't brag about this on the website because it's anecdotal. It's 100% anecdotal, but for the person who's experiencing these unadvertised benefits, they don't care that it's anecdotal.
No.
Whether they don't have migraines anymore, we've had people who have no desire for cigarettes. They quit smoking and continue to take the drops ongoing because they would rather take the drops than smoke. And of course, spending a few bucks on a bottle is a lot cheaper than smoking, so there's a huge savings financially, plus all the benefits to their health. Emotional episodes, whether seizures or otherwise. So there's a variety of things you may experience that are unadvertised side benefits of taking the drops. And if you experience that, the answer is yes, you can take these drops long term, because they're not going to screw up your hormones. And that leads us nicely into the hormonal imbalance issues. When Dr. Simeons came up with this protocol, it was in the 50s and 60s, and it started with HCG, real HCG hormone, injected into the body, 125 international units per day, and that's how he discovered this system. Now, here's the problem, and here's a shocking admission from Dr. Simeons a lot of people don't understand. Let's read this, and then I'll have you talk to this point.
Okay.
He says, what so many investigators seem to overlook is that HCG, as such, has no weight-reducing action whatsoever, nor has this ever been claimed to be the case. Now, you might be just thinking right now, wait a minute, why am I doing this then? But before you lose faith in the diet, listen to the rest of the quote. The function of HCG is exclusively to make drastic reduction over a short period of time safe, comfortable, and entirely confined to abnormal fat deposits. There's no magic in the HCG. And since the FDA made HCG sales over the internet illegal in 2011, and before that as well, a lot of formulators were coming up with another formulation that would cause exactly this to happen without using a hormone. Because when I first came to you and talked to you about HCG, you wanted nothing to do with it because of what?
Well, when I first got into practice, I had a bunch of patients coming in and getting the HCG drops. They were losing weight like crazy, but then they had all these hormonal imbalances. They had all these issues. Women were having hot flashes when they're not supposed to have them, and men were having libido issues, and which we know is an unusual thing for men, right? And so I was like, no way, I'm done with this whole HCG thing. But
so it's imbalancing people's hormones.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And is that because taking one hormone in excessive amounts plays havoc with the rest?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
It changes the hormonal properties in the body.
And so we've perfected a non-hormonal formulation. So if you're having any of these unadvertised benefits, quit smoking, not having seizures, whatever, not having migraines anymore, there's a long list of these. You can continue taking the HCG drops as long as they're helping you. They won't hurt you. There's nothing in there that will imbalance the hormones in your body. So you do not actually have to stop taking them when you go into the transitional phase of the HCG. It could involve some personal experimentation for you. You could try, going off them and coming back on them again. Totally up to you. We're not trying to sell you on becoming a lifetime buyer of these, but you may sell yourself on that. If they help you quit smoking, of course. Better to spend 60 bucks a month or whatever. Right now we have specials on, so it's cheaper than that. But depending on the price, a whole lot cheaper than smoking and better for your health.
Yeah,
so
much healthier.
You can take them long term if you're experiencing those types of benefits. Let's talk about the mind and body reset. This is another kind of an advertised bonus. Dr. Simeons does talk about a hypothalamus reset, but we found there's also craving resets and mental resets that can and should happen while you're taking this diet. So we want to raise your expectations on what this diet can do for you, because we're not wanting to just be the guys that sold you a bottle of stuff. money comes and goes. We thank you for your money and for trusting in us to buy product from us. But what lasts forever is when someone comes to you and says, you changed my life. I lost 30 pounds that I could not lose for the last 20 years. That lasts forever. The joy of that, the personal satisfaction of actually having people have tremendous health improvements is permanent. And that's what I'm really all about now in my business, and why we're making this video and why we do what we do. And one of the ways you are going to achieve that is if you can reset your cravings. In another video you might have seen from us, we talk about the woman who her desire the whole month she was losing her 30 pounds was to eat Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. She took one bite as a little reward at the end of her protocol, spat it out. It tasted like cardboard to her. You can expect a mind and body reset if you follow the protocol exactly. We'll be giving you resources here in a minute of where you find all that and get all the information. But other things that can be reset is, let's face it, one of the reasons why most people are overweight is because of the cravings that they have that are bad.
Right.
They crave bad food. And if we can get your body so that it doesn't crave the stuff that got you where you are and having to lose the weight, we hit a home run. Because you can now run with that. So Dr. Kapoor, speak to this reset mentally and physically of cravings and what people want to eat and how they can take advantage of what will happen over the next 21 to 40 days on the protocol.
Well, one of the neat things about the mind-body reset is that the reason why you crave certain foods is because you've trained yourself for all these years that those foods are what you have to feel good, to feel healthy, to feel right, even though it's totally opposite with the food, right? So when you go through the diet, you actually create a change within your brain, and your brain no longer sees sugar and all these other hard carbs and things like that. You no longer desire them to actually feel happy and feel peaceful. So you actually get like an emotional reset because your body now craves the healthy foods to feel happy and peaceful. So that's one of the big benefits that you'll get when you're getting that reset.
So to take advantage of that, here's what I highly recommend that you do. I recommend that you purge your house of crappy food. We have on our website a list of the good foods, and also in the guide that you'll receive with your bottle, there's a list of healthy foods. Not only go to the store and buy those things to prepare for the strict HCG 800 and 1200 calorie diet protocols that we provide to you, but simultaneously throw out the junk. Don't have it in your house. We're going to talk about common mistakes and some cheating and stuff that happens. It's a lot less, it's not very easy to cheat if you don't have the stuff around. Right. So if you have junk food at your office where you currently work, get rid of it. Replace it with good healthy foods. If you have junk food in your cupboards, get rid of it. Replace it. And that will make it easier for you to take advantage of this reset.
Exactly.
Next, resources and support. We have several resources for you. We have a toll-free number. You'll find that if you're watching this video on our website, it'll be there in the notes below. If you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be in the YouTube notes. Same as our toll-free support email. You can email us. Our staff is phenomenal. The rep that's been with us, the shortest period of time is 3 years. We've been doing this for 4 years. And one of our reps has been with us from day one. We have 2 support reps who generally are able to handle all the volume. By the way, it is just 2. We're not a huge company. So if you call our number and you get a machine in the middle of the day, don't be mad at us. It's just that we're not huge. But someone will call you back shortly. So go ahead and leave a message.
And we're in the process of setting things up that people can contact me via email too. Right.
Oh, and on Facebook. If you go to our Facebook page, which the link is in the notes, click on that, and if you say Dr. Kapoor in your question, our reps who monitor the Facebook page all day long will forward that to Dr. Kapoor so that he can come in and answer that directly to you. So that's how we're handling, so we don't inundate your email box, right. But that we monitor the page and then send you those ones that are particularly for Dr. Kapoor. So perfect. Thank you for adding that. It's not on my list. Also, we'll be emailing you a 50% off coupon code to our store. Our store is cool. Like, you probably bought from hcgeasydrops.com or vitalhcg.com. But we have a store, easywellnessstore.com. We'll put a link to that. And we email you a 50% off code. And nothing in our store is average. It's all about cool supplements. It's all about that stuff that's cutting edge, the
Yeah.
stuff that's interesting. It's not the average stuff you're going to find you know, at your local, I don't know, supermarket, or maybe not even at your health food store. And so we give you a 50% off coupon, which will make it cheaper and you can get it in your local market. So take advantage of that as well. We'll also provide you an 800 and 1200 calorie protocol. We don't agree with the 500 calorie protocol. It doesn't provide enough protein. One of the big mistakes Dr. Simeons made back in the 50s, 60s, you know, God bless him, he did a phenomenal job, but he only could work with the research available back then.
Right.
We've come a long way since then. Do not follow the 500 calorie protocol. You may not believe that you'll lose as much weight with our 800 or 1200 calorie protocols, but you will. Just trust me, you will. One of the reasons why is because when you have enough protein, that's part of your metabolism that is helping with the fat burn. And so although it seems counterintuitive to take 300 or 800 calories more than what's recommended, we've been doing this a long time. It works, trust us on that.
They're happier too.
And they're happier and they don't have the hunger pains.
Yeah.
So that's resources and support. The last point is common mistakes, and this is important. The first common mistake is sharing your new diet with what we call dream stealers. Unfortunately, even our own family and friends can be our worst dream stealers.
Right.
And be careful who you share that you're dieting with. And if you say to someone, hey, by the way, I'm doing this new HCG diet, be prepared for some of these people who may otherwise love you to say crappy things like, oh, I tried that, it didn't work.
Right.
As if it won't work for you too. Or, oh, I know so-and-so who tried it, and it caused all these problems, or blah, 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 blah. People have their opinions. Opinions they're easy to adopt, and often not based on fact. Look, the fact is, only share your health goals with people that support you. And so if you share that you're going to lose 30 pounds with a good friend who says, oh man, how can I help? I'm there for you. Wonderful. Talk to that person every day.
All right.
But I don't care if it's your own spouse. If they don't support you, or if they say anything negative to you like, oh yeah, you've tried it before, you'll probably fail. People say that kind of crap.
It's sad.
It is sad. But there are some people in your life that will support you. If it has to be us, we're there for you. Come to our Facebook page. If you just come to our Facebook page and post every day, we respond to every single post. If you just need someone to say, good job, way to go, come to our Facebook page, because that's what you'll get. The link is here near the video, depending on how you're watching the video. Dr. Capot, anything to add on dream stealers? You deal with this all the time.
Yeah, you just have to, like you were saying, you have to be careful who you're sharing it with. And if anything, just keep it to yourself. And what will happen is that everyone around you will start seeing how you're losing the weight, you're looking good, you're looking vibrant and healthy. Then they'll change their story. So you don't don't even need to advertise what you're doing, you know?
Speaking of advertising, do you know what the #1 source of sales of HCG Easy Drops is?
What's that?
Referrals from people that lost weight.
Okay.
Number one. School teachers. We get orders from school, what do you call them? Not a boardroom, but the room where the teachers all have lunch.
Oh, the break room.
The break room.
Yeah.
We actually take telephone calls from break rooms where someone in that school lost 30 pounds. And they're sitting around the table and someone says, Lynette, you lost a ton of weight. You look terrific. She, yeah, I bought these drops online and I followed this protocol and I lost 30 pounds. And we get phone calls where all the people order around the room.
That's cool.
Yeah, same with offices and whatever. And we have multi-bottle discounts for that reason. A lot of people buy as a group because of that. And so the reason why this is important is because research has found that people do have the most success in their diet if they are getting support from other people. It's hard to do it on your own. And so do look for those people that will support you and ignore those people that won't. Next, cheating. Try not to cheat. But if you cheat, get back on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
This is a common mistake. You wouldn't believe how many people we have that cheat a little bit. They go to a wedding and have the cake. They go on a date and they eat bad food. They go to a restaurant and they eat what they shouldn't eat.
So a little word about cheating, failures, setbacks, okay? So one of my patients, she started the program. She's doing really well, but her birthday was coming up, right? So she's like, so what do? I've got to eat the cake. I was like, don't eat the cake. Just don't cheat. Just stick to the diet. You'll be fine, right? So we get back together. She's like, I ate the cake.
Yeah.
So she ate the cake and she gained some pounds. I mean, that's what happens when you cheat, right? And she wanted to be done. It's like, I'm done with this diet. I'm giving up. And I said, you know what? The best thing that you can do right now, get back onto the diet. Just push through it. She did. Within about 2 or 3 days, she lost those 4 pounds that she had gained, and she's right back onto it. So.
And it is human nature sometimes when we have a small setback to make that a big life setback. Worst thing she could have possibly done is let her little setback derail her from achieving her ideal body weight, which she can do through this diet. And so don't be that person. Another thing she could have done, and this is what I do because I cheat myself sometimes. I can now that I've kind of gotten over some of my own cravings and the bad food I used to eat and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But when I do, I make it a tiny piece. I don't need a massive piece of cake. A tiny piece and little tiny bites. I enjoy them and then move on. As another, if you're going to cheat, make it tiny. Get back on the bandwagon. The last point is be a student. Educate yourself. If you're still watching this video, I know this one's long. It's probably the longest one we've ever done.
Yeah.
If you're still watching it, you fall into that category. You're someone who wants to learn. You're someone who wants to know. We've given you all these resources. We've got a Facebook page. We've got our original site you can go back to with tons of resources. There's several links either in the blog post if you're reading this on our website or under the YouTube video if you're watching this on YouTube. Take advantage of all of those. Educate yourself. Become an expert in this diet, in the types of foods you ought to eat. And with that, again, we don't want to just be a company that sold you a bottle of stuff. We appreciate you buying a bottle of product from us. But this is about so much more than a bottle of product.
Yeah.
This is about you changing your life. That's what we want. We want you to change your life. We want you to set the goal of achieving your ideal body weight, being happy with yourself. None of us have a perfect body. We can all look in the mirror and see blemishes or problems, and we may never get six-pack abs, but we can all be our best. We can all be at our highest level of health to go out and enjoy time with our grandchildren and increase our lifespan. The American Heart Association says that every pound over 20 pounds of extra fat you have on your body, if you're more than 20 pounds overweight, you're shortening your life, increasing your chance of heart attack and congestive heart failure, and chances are your cholesterol is too high and a variety of other things that are causing you long-term problems. So if you haven't yet thought of getting down to your ideal body weight, I don't care who you are or how much you weigh. We've had people lose 150 pounds, we've had people lose 100, we've had tons of people lose 30 to 100 pounds. I don't care what your goal is or what your story is or what your past weaknesses or failures are. You can truly set a goal to achieve your ideal body weight. Starting with this diet and this plan and what we're offering you, you can achieve it.
Yeah, I agree. And you've got more than enough support with us, and I'm sure there's plenty of family and friends that would be right there to support you too along the whole process. So
with that, thank you again for being a customer. We're here for you. If you want to go to Facebook and ask Dr. Cappoe anything directly, just state on Facebook, Dr. Cappoe, I have a question. We'll make sure that Dr. Cappoe sees that and answers you. And we're wishing you massive success and health.